Imagine a single act of kindness so powerful it rewrites 2 lives forever. Welcome to Midnight Tales, where we unravel stories that spark hope and ignite the heart. Tonight, we're diving into a tale that'll leave you breathless: a billionaire doctor, a waitress in a coma, and a moment that defies all odds. Where are you tuning in from? Drop it in the comments below, and let's set the stage for a story that'll tug at your soul. In the hushed halls of St. Mary's Hospital, where antiseptic air blends with whispers of hope and heartbreak, something miraculous was brewing. Dr. Jonathan Hayes, a cardiac surgeon whose name echoed through the city's elite, had built an empire saving lives. His penthouse gleamed over the harbor, his cars purred through neon-lit streets, and his reputation stretched from coast to coast. At 42, he was the man who had it all, except the one thing money couldn't buy: a reason to feel alive. Enter Lily Chen, a 28-year-old waitress from a bustling downtown diner, lying motionless in a hospital bed, her delicate frame swallowed by crisp white sheets. For 3 weeks, she'd been tethered to life by the steady hum of machines, no family, no visitors, just the rhythm of her heart monitor cutting through the silence. Yet, every evening, after grueling hours in the operating room, Dr. Hayes found himself at her bedside. He didn't know why. Maybe it was the detective's report he'd glimpsed, revealing Lily's double shifts to fund her dream of nursing school. Or maybe it was the serenity in her face, untouched by the chaos of tubes and wires. Whatever it was, he started changing her bandages himself, a task far beneath a surgeon of his caliber, whispering to her about his day, his dreams, and the emptiness that haunted his sprawling mansion. "You know, Lily," he murmured one night as autumn rain drummed against the hospital windows, "I used to think success was about never slowing down. But sitting here with you, I'm starting to see everything I've missed." His hands, steady enough to thread a needle through a beating heart, trembled as he secured fresh gauze. "My grandmother always said healing starts in the heart. I think you're teaching me what she meant." The nurses noticed his ritual. Elena, the night supervisor, often lingered in the doorway, watching him speak to Lily like she was an old friend. "She's lucky to have you," Elena said one evening, her voice soft with admiration. "Most patients like her. They're forgotten." What Elena didn't know was that Jonathan had been quietly paying Lily's medical bills. Her insurance had dried up after the first week, but he'd rerouted every invoice to his personal account. It wasn't charity, it was something deeper, a spark of hope he couldn't explain. As October faded into November, Jonathan raced through his surgeries, eager to reach Lily's room. He brought novels, reading tales of adventure and love, or shared stories of his childhood in rural Minnesota, where his grandmother taught him that kindness was the truest measure of wealth. "They say you might wake up soon," he whispered one chilly night, tucking her blanket closer. "I'm a little scared, honestly. What if you think I'm just some eccentric doctor who's lost it?" He chuckled, studying her peaceful face. "But maybe you'll see you've given me something I'd forgotten: purpose beyond the paycheck." Outside, the first snowflakes of winter dusted the windows, painting the world in quiet magic. Jonathan didn't know it, but tomorrow would challenge everything he believed about love, sacrifice, and the mysterious threads that tie lives together. The next morning hit like a thunderbolt. As he reviewed Lily's latest brain scans with the neurological team, Dr. Patricia Morrison, the lead neurologist, delivered a gut punch. "Jonathan, the imaging shows increased pressure. Her condition might be worsening." His mind reeled, torn between his medical training and the bond he'd never meant to form. "What does that mean?" he asked, dreading the answer. Patricia's eyes softened. "We need to prepare for the possibility she may never wake up. And if she does, there could be significant cognitive damage. We'll need to discuss this with her family." "She doesn't have family," Jonathan said quietly. "I've been covering her care." Patricia's brow furrowed, a rare crack in her professional demeanor. "Jonathan, what's your connection to her?" The question hung heavy. "How do you explain that a stranger has become your lifeline?" "She's important," he managed, the words feeling too small for the truth. That evening, Jonathan sat by Lily's bed, the weight of the day pressing down. The fresh bandages felt heavier, each movement laced with urgency and the shadow of farewell. "Lily, I don't know if you can hear me," he began, his voice raw, "but these weeks with you, they've reminded me why I became a doctor. Not for the fame or the fortune, but for the chance to be part of something bigger." He took her hand, its warmth startlingly familiar. "I used to think love was about grand gestures, perfect moments. But maybe it's just showing up, day after day, with no promise of anything in return." For a fleeting second, he swore her fingers twitched. His pulse surged, eyes locked on her face for any sign of life. Nothing. He exhaled, chalking it up to wishful thinking. But Elena, watching silently from the doorway, had seen it too. "Dr. Hayes," she whispered, stepping closer, "did her hand just move?" They held their breath, watching for the faintest flutter of eyelids, the smallest hint she was fighting her way back. The moment teetered between hope and heartbreak, and Jonathan realized his professional duty had long since become something far more personal. If this story's stirring your heart, hit that like button and subscribe to Midnight Tales for more tales that light up the dark. The monitors hummed on, but the room felt alive with possibility. Tomorrow, Jonathan would face a choice that would redefine not just Lily's future, but his own understanding of what it means to truly heal. Dawn broke with the weight of impossible decisions. Jonathan hadn't slept, his mind caught between medical ethics and the inexplicable pull of Lily's presence. Dr. Morrison met him in the hallway, her expression grim. "Jonathan, the ethics committee meets this afternoon. With no family and her condition declining, we're facing tough choices about life support." The words hit like a scalpel. "She's breathing on her own," he countered, clinging to hope. "Her vitals are stable. For now," Patricia said gently. "But the brain pressure's rising. We may need to consider aggressive interventions, or..." She didn't finish, but the unspoken was clear. Jonathan's chest tightened with a desperation he'd never felt, not even in his most high-stakes surgeries. "Give me 24 hours, he pleaded. "Just one more day." Patricia studied him. "What's driving this, Jonathan? This isn't like you." He ran a hand through his hair, feeling the weight of his years. "She's changed me, Patricia. Caring for her, hoping for her, it's made me feel human again, not just a machine churning out successes." That afternoon, instead of facing the ethics committee, Jonathan sat by Lily's bed, her hand in his, speaking from a place of raw vulnerability. "Lily, I know this sounds insane, but I think I've fallen in love with you. Not just the idea of you, but the man I've become while caring for you. You've taught me that love isn't about what you get back, it's about becoming your best self for someone else." His voice cracked. "If you can hear me, you're not alone. You'll never be alone as long as I'm here." And then, a miracle. Lily's eyelids fluttered, faint but undeniable. Her eyes opened, hazy at first, then sharpening as they found his face. "Jonathan," she whispered, her voice fragile but clear. He nearly toppled from his chair. "Lily, oh my God, you're awake. How do you know my name?" A faint smile curved her lips. "I heard you. Every story, every kindness. I was fighting so hard to come back, to tell you I heard it all." Nurses rushed in, alerted by the spiking monitors, but Jonathan couldn't look away from her, his heart soaring as the impossible unfolded. Have you ever had a moment that changed everything? Share it in the comments below and join the Midnight Tales community. The next hours were a blur of tests and scans, each result more astonishing than the last. Dr. Morrison shook her head in disbelief. "No brain damage. The pressure's normalized. I've never seen anything like it." Word spread through St. Mary's, drawing nurses and doctors to witness what many called a miracle. Lily grew stronger by the hour, sitting up, sipping water, her sharp mind intact. "So, you paid all my bills?" she teased, her eyes sparkling. "Do you always adopt unconscious waitresses?" Jonathan laughed, lighter than he'd felt in years. "Only the ones who remind me what it means to be human. Best investment I ever made." But as visiting hours neared, a new fear crept in. In the cocoon of the hospital, his love for Lily had been pure, untested. Now, with her awake and ready to reclaim her life, he worried the magic might fade. "Lily," he said, perched on her bed, "everything I said while you were asleep, I meant it. But I don't want you to feel obligated just because I was here." She took his hand, her grip steady. "Jonathan, you told me about your grandmother, about healing from the heart. I felt your heart healing mine, not just my body, but my soul. Your voice was my lifeline in the dark. I've spent my life proving my worth through work, but you showed me love is about being seen for who you are." Tears glistened in her eyes. "So, what's next? I still want to be a nurse. I've learned what it means to care. And I'm hoping a certain doctor might support that dream, not as a patient, but as..." She paused, smiling. "As the man I fell in love with while he thought I couldn't hear him." The room stilled, the hum of machines fading beneath the sound of two hearts finding each other. If this story's got you hooked, subscribe to Midnight Tales for more tales of love and miracles. 6 months later, the corner diner where Lily once worked buzzed with excitement. Jonathan sat in booth 3, watching her clutch an unopened envelope from nursing school. "Nervous?" he asked. "Terrified," she admitted, sliding in across from him. "What if they changed their minds?" He smiled, recalling the glowing recommendation he'd written about her compassion. "Lily, you're going to be an incredible nurse. You already know how to heal with your heart." She tore open the letter, her face lighting up. "I'm in, Jonathan. I'm really in." The diner erupted in cheers, but Jonathan only saw her joy. "There's something else," he said, pulling a ring from his pocket. "I've loved you longer than these 6 months, since the days I thought love was for other people. Lily Chen, will you marry me? Will you let me learn to love as bravely as you do?" Through tears, she laughed. "Yes, but only if you keep reading to me, even when I'm awake." The diner roared as he slipped the ring on her finger, Elena wiping tears in the corner. 2 years later, Nurse Lily Hayes worked beside her husband at St. Mary's, launching a program to pair volunteers with lonely patients, knowing the power of presence. Jonathan, inspired by his grandmother's wisdom, spent more time with each patient, healing hearts as well as bodies. Together, they founded a scholarship for working-class students, ensuring dreams like Lily's could thrive. On quiet nights, they'd sit in their converted hospital meditation room, Jonathan reading while Lily planned patient care, both grateful for the love that found them when they dared to care. If this story warmed your heart, like, comment, and subscribe to Midnight Tales for more stories that remind us love blooms in the unlikeliest places. Thank you for joining us on this journey of hope, healing, and the magic of human connection.